The objective of my customer was to review through the eyes of our people, particularly the customer-facing people, whether we truly had customers at the heart of this business. We have said for many years that that was the case, but we wanted to know whether they felt it was true as well.
Perhaps for the first time altogether, we are going to have a direct view of how our customers think that this is going on for them. And I warn you, it's not going to be all nice.
What we learned from the initial team meetings was that our people didn't believe that they were getting the support that they required, either from the support areas of the business or also from the management team. We really weren't customer focused, so therefore we had to do something about it. What we did was we had 3,000 team meetings, customer-facing team meetings, where support people and managers went along to understand what it was like to be on the sharp end. On the 3rd of March we sent out 450 senior managers who spent a day with a customer-facing person. Our aim in all of this was to support our people, to be helpful, to demonstrate trustworthiness. And to that end, we've taken away issues both from the team meetings and from the back to the floor events. We ended up with over 3,000 issues, and we've been working our way through those steadily ever since. We've cleared somewhere in the region of 11 to 1,200 issues, and when we say cleared, what we mean is we've either resolved the issue, or we've actually put a fix in place that's going to happen in the future, or maybe it was an issue that people were not clear on and we've communicated and they're happy about it. The other really important thing that came through is that we gathered together from all of those issues 10 very large themes, the sort of things that we've all talked about over the years but we've not necessarily been addressing.
We've got individually named people from different parts of the business looking after each of the 10 key themes, and they then read and understand what the issues are that have been raised from the team meetings, and they are then expected to deliver resolution to those, and we check the resolution with the people who originated the issues.
Another area was the engineering notes, that this is an area that we did know about and we've actually had fixes in place, but it kept on getting deprioritised. So what we've actually got through the 10 themes is a people's mandate. For the first time, our people have told us what it is we need to fix, and now we've got to get on and do it.
What has changed is really the passion which we're really addressing these issues, because we now understand the real impact it has on people's day-to-day work and the impact that these problems have on their customers. So in some of the areas, like internal contactability, like IVR, we are now really reviewing what we did before, what we had planned before, and making sure it tackles issues that came from the frontline teams.
My Customer Challenge Cup was the third phase of my customer in the past year. And it was an opportunity to say we don't just want to involve our people in telling us what the issues are. We wanted team members involved in resolving issues as well. And it's been fantastically successful. We've got 777 teams, which is something about 10% of the team members across BT Retail who have got involved and are now starting to make a difference by fixing their own issues. The key target we set ourselves was that we wanted 75% of our people to believe that we've made a difference. And we're currently running surveys across the team members, and the feedback we're getting is that something like 60 to 70% of people do believe that they've actually seen a difference, that issues are being resolved, they understand the progress that we're making. That's fantastic news. To have 60 to 70% of people believing that it has made a difference is a real step forward. However, that means that 30% of our people don't believe that we've made a difference, and it just goes to show that we've still got some way to go in certain parts of the company. The real test of success, however, is whether the people that are listening to this video and are getting involved in My Customer, We're Working Together, whether they believe that there's been any changes, because it's what you personally feel that's more important than what you necessarily hear. So what we want people to do off the back of this video is to ask the question, how was it for them? To actually have a discussion amongst their teams as to whether they have seen any difference, either as a team, either globally with the key themes that we're working on, or more specifically, do they believe that the issue that they raised from their team meetings was actually being worked on. And out of those discussions, we want to learn something for the future so that we can build on what we do believe has been a success as we move into the next phase of My Customer.
I think the values are so important for the company and for the individual. It sets a tone of how we need to behave whilst we're at work, how we need to deliver to our customers, how we need to behave with one another, and it also sets the standards, and these standards, I believe, are very important.
Of course, we, as humans, as individuals, we have values, whether they are religious or moral or whatever, since the world is world. That's what makes the difference between the human and the animal. And it's in business exactly the same. It's not because we are in BT and it's a business community that it doesn't need to have some values to structure it and again help people to behave properly.
The value that I think is strongest in me is heart. I really feel it gives an opportunity for people to express themselves, to care about what they do for our customers and what they do for each other. During my career, when I was a young manager, I can remember having my first team and really seeing the difference in people, some with real experience, some very technically skilled, but some other people that really made the difference to our customers were the people who demonstrate that attitude that they really cared. They wanted to go that extra mile. And for me that is so important, and that's something that I feel that I need to demonstrate with my own teams to show that I really do care and I do want to make an absolute difference, and I want everyone to come to work to make that absolute difference. Recently, I think when I look back at a recent issue I faced, it was a customer that had been out of service for a length of time, and I started talking to the teams, and it just surprised me how much ingenuity, how much energy would go into making sure that we brought these customers back in service. They'd been out of service for a while, but I just felt it shone through all the way through how everyone put the customer first and then really focused the energy. And for me that was a great demonstration of the heart of the organisation.
We have recently done a survey and a feedback from some of my first line, some of my colleagues, so I know where I am good at, and it's confirmed by the survey. I know I'm quite inspiring, I know I'm very straightforward, I know I'm very often helpful, coaching and supporting the actions of my people, so those are good values for me where I know I'm doing reasonably well.
I suppose the value I'm least comfortable with is straightforward, and that really is, and I'll give you an example. I deal with field delivery and we measure everything, but sometimes we can get lost, and I can personally, in all the detail. And sometimes what I need to keep reminding myself is I need to be straightforward, make it simple and clear. Instead of looking at all these huge number of statistics, did we meet the commitment for the customer at the right time?
It's about heart. Perhaps because I'm a little bit tough, and I have to be tough. Perhaps also because I'm a little bit focused. I can appear as arrogant and quick to judge people, and that's something that I really have to be very watchful and permanently reassess myself.
Do I see any real issues about the values and my role? No. The key thing I see is that I and my team need to role model the values and to make sure that we live them every day. I really feel once we get that groundswell of everybody recognising the values, understanding what they mean and how they can contribute to our customers, to our business and to all of us, I think it's a real positive win-win situation.